So let's put our hands together. Yes, I think I will take her profile. It's important we know who she is. I know that to some persons they are meeting up for the first time. She's a very great personality. She's a geologist. She's a geophysicist and geologist. Of course, she did a PhD in the Department of Geology. So I'm taking her profile, and she's actually our resource person for this training. Before we actually the executive mind or who should, this is the second training we're having with the first for this year, but the second since we came on board as executive. I think we took time to see how we can get who actually can deliver on this training workshop. For our resource person, she's not just a classroom person, she has been practicing. And her practice is actually beyond even the church of Nigeria. So on that note, I would want to read her profile. Okay. Doc, you should understand why I just go on to our language so that you can. Let me just take a profile. Okay, Dr. Francis Omonefe, hope I'm correct.
Yeah.
Is a Nigerian geophysicist and a lecturer at the Federal University of Tweke, with a decade of multidisciplinary experience in geophysical data analysis, petrophysics, and geotechnical investigation. She holds a PhD in exploration geophysics and has contributed severally high-impact projects across Nigeria. Among these countries are the Democratic Republic of Congo and Pakistan. Our expertise spans mineral and groundwater exploration, as well as advanced petrophysical analysis, utilizing industry standard tools such as spectral, ROS2, INV, or so many software that she has actually used. And Dr. Divine combines strong technical and proficiency in academic rigor, demonstrated through numerous peer-reviewed publications and extensive field-based research. In addition to her academic role, she currently serves as an exploration geophysicist and a project manager at Zeconex Exploration and Mining Limited, and as a remote geophysicist with the Geo Horizon International Pakistan. Her professional experience also includes leadership roles at the Frande Consulting, as well as involvement in pipeline integrity surveys, borehole drilling supervision, technical training, and educational content development. Dr. Divine's profiles reflect a unique blend of teaching excellence, field experience, applied research, positioning her as a valuable contributor to both academia and the geoscience industry. Ladies and gentlemen, my dear colleagues, permit me as I present and make welcome to us Dr. Divine Omonefe.
I should stand in front of the projector, right?
Okay, so just let us just take that space. VP, just okay, the table is not too long, so just be careful. Okay.
Okay, it's all right. You guys heard my introduction, and I want to welcome each and every one of you here today for this workshop. It is a great thing that you are here, and it is a great thing that I am here. So officially, my name is Dr. Francis Omonefe, an exploration geophysicist by profession and a recent lecturer. I can see some of my colleagues and probably some of my students that have not known me, you know me in the future. So I will be anchoring this training workshop. Supposed to be for 2 days, and the second day we will all be going to the field. As today will not be possible for us to go to the field, and my field men are not here or available for today. They will be available tomorrow. But I'll try my best to run all what you need to know about VES, because we'll be talking about VES for groundwater exploration. Yes, VES, as the word is implied, is vertical electrical sounding, and is a method used for groundwater exploration. And the objective of this workshop will be that we'll be understanding resistivity principle for groundwater exploration. We'll also learn VES method. We'll also do field data acquisition tomorrow and interpretation. But before tomorrow will come, I will try and probably visualize what will happen tomorrow. So I'm supposed to run from 1 to the end. And tomorrow will just be a recap. In case you don't have transport to come tomorrow, you will still not lost out. So the course outline is going to be, we are going to be talking about the importance of groundwater. We are also going to talk about the resistivity basic, VES principle, Schlumberger array diagram. We'll understand what Schlumberger is. We'll also understand the equipment. We'll understand field setup. Yes, what it is like to be in the field. We'll also understand data acquisition, setup, then what's it called? Sample data sheet. Yes, you know how a VES sample data sheet looks like. We'll also talk about VES curve. We'll talk about interpretation, case study tomorrow, then best practice, summary, question and answer if you have. But I hope you will not have after my presentation. Yes. Before I start talking about the importance of groundwater, we should all know why, or the importance of water itself. Water is very essential to life, because not just because we drink it, because we use it for every other activity. Without groundwater, we are all stuck. Believe it or not, your house will not function if there's no water in your house. You will be like something left you. It will look as if life have left you. You will just be like, oh. So water is very, very essential, not because we drink it, because we use it for our day-to-day activities. And not just in our home, in the industry. In fact, anywhere you see yourself, in the market, people are using water. So in that, groundwater is just a source of water. It is a means of getting water from every other sources of water. We have river as a source of water. We have rain. We have stream. We have well. What else we not have? And groundwater is what we know as the pipe-borne water. When we were growing up, they used to tell us, pipe-borne water, classes of water. I don't know if they taught you in secondary schools or primary school. Yes, groundwater is that thing we call the pipe-borne water. And it is the safest. It is the most dependable among all the sources of water. So groundwater serves as a dependable source of fresh water because it naturally filters. So groundwater is supposed to be as clean as possible. But in Niger Delta, our case is different. God decided to make our case different. I don't know why. Sometimes our groundwater is not safe, it's not dependable, it's not reliable. You will still get groundwater and still look for how to treat it to make it look neat. Now, VES method will help us to look for a possible or the best place where we can source for our groundwater. Because we are in the Niger Delta, we have what we call more than one aquifer. But those people in the north, they have just one aquifer. You have seen aquifer, But in Niger Delta, no, you have not seen aquifer like that. You look for the real one. And from studies, because, you know, when they say you are looking for people with experience, they are looking for people who have actually done this thing, encountered challenges, and solved problems. So people like us that have experience, we already know that in Niger Delta, we don't just carry drill and go and drill my compound. The best practice is to do a VES first. Now, VES help us to know the best point, depth to drill to get a dependable water. It might not be exactly really, really dependable, but at least you will not wake up in the morning and on your tap and it's not rushing again, or on your borehole and it's not rushing. The reason why that happened is because many people decided to stop at what we call the unconfirmed aquifer. We have different kinds or different types of aquifer, which is the main two is the confined and the unconfined aquifer. So we have two kinds of aquifer, the confined and the unconfined. Now you need VS to know which one you're actually dealing with. Sometimes, like I told people, your data you collect from the field is just one small tiny part of the whole entire exploration process. I don't just deal with groundwater. I'm opportune to work with a mining company, Zyconess. We do mineral exploration, and we still do this resistivity method, not to look for water this time. We look for minerals. So if you understand the basic, because I call VS as the basic, it's the basic thing that, in fact, as you just call yourself geology or geoscience, you should know VS. Because it's the basics, it doesn't mean that it is the less thing. It's as important as people doing reservoir evaluation, doing petrophysics, doing any other thing they can do in the world of geoscience. So, but at least everyone should know VES, especially if you are in the Niger Delta. You must know VES. If not, your geology or your geophysics story is not complete. You are just an half-baked somebody. People will not look you anything. They will look you less. So, okay, my slide is up now. So, as you can see, especially in the Niger Delta, we have what we call the unconfined aquifer, where I think many people stop because that's very shallow. In dry season or in rainy season, that water depth should be about 3 meters, 4 meters. When you drill up to 4 meters, you don't need to drill far. You drill your sock away. You drill sock away of how many feet. And the next morning, it is filled with water. And people depend on that water. Sometimes, when I see how shallow some people bore OR, I'll be like, are you sure it's not sock away water we are drilling? Oh boy, go down. Still go down. But they'll be like, na so it dey. Fine, they don't have the knowledge. They just have a drilling experience. I drill for Mr. A, na 3 meters, and the water never dry. So I can drill for Mr. B 3 meters too. You not concern anybody. And as long as the client is seeing water, you will not have anything to say. You will go and pump your sock away water and probably use it to cook and go to the hospital the next day. So now, what is an aquifer? An aquifer is that place where water is stored. An aquifer exists everywhere. Aquifer, you cannot find aquifer easily in the north, but in the south, you can find aquifer. Many people even mistake water table to become aquifer, as they just see water in an aquifer. But there is a difference between the water table and the aquifer. Water table is just the maximum or the minimum depth of where you can get water. As you drill 3 meters, that is your water table. But an aquifer is beyond that. It is that place that never gets dry, even when there is rain or sun. The aquifer is made to supply the river. When the river's table is going down, aquifer will supply the river more water. And if it is rainy season and everywhere is full, the aquifer will hold water. So it doesn't get dry. It has a function in the ecosystem. It supplies water when the water table is going off and keeps water for dry season to come, so that your river, you not go to your river one day and you not see water. And again, this other diagram here, in as much as you are looking for a dependable aquifer in a good depth, in the Niger Delta, you have to still be very careful too, because if you go down, especially if you are drilling your borehole in the southern Niger area where we have salt water and all the rest surrounding us, if you go down too much, you will strike what we call the intrusion zone, and you might be pumping your water and your water is tasting salt. You don't drill river like this. So that is why the VES method is very, very important for us to know where to stop, where to drill, and how to drill. Now, apart from VES, we do EROT as well for groundwater exploration. Yes, we do EROT. Now, that EROT, the difference between the VES is 1D. You don't see anything, you just see one line. But the EROT is 2D. Now, after your 1D, you are supposed to do the 2D, especially we in the Niger Delta, where we are being affected by pollutions. Our water is not safe. So that's why that first aquifer, be very careful, because you might be drilling a contaminated, hydrocarbon contaminated water. The contamination has sunk down. You see our oil spillage now, no oil spillage. So our oil spillage will sink down to a reasonable depth. Now, if you do an EROT, you will see your contamination plumb and the depth where it has reached, and you'll be like, no. Again, we still do our EROT in the north for us to know where to put our borehole. You don't just wake up and say, Alaji, they find water. You carry your equipment and start drilling without doing VES. I swear to God, you will lose your equipment. It will be stuck in the rock. So you have to know a favorable place where you can get water for Alaji and your rock will not be stuck. And that is why you can't just see an aboki man drilling borehole. No way. Probably the whole of the land no get where you go feed drill borehole. So they depend on community boreholes. Or if they have excess money that they can pay the driller in case your machine spoil, they will tell you, say, continue, and they'll be paying you to be buying more stock pipe. Now, the next thing we want to know is geophysics, resistivity basics. Now, this thing operates on the principle of resistivity. What is resistivity? Current. We send current to the floor and observe how this current behave and come out with a story and say, na so it be. Because the current we send downstairs, this is how it behaves. And we can comfortably say the reason why this thing is behaving like that is because something dey down. And what is it? Why is it behaving like that? So electrical resistivity is the ability of a material to resist the flow of current. The current is the same when you send it down. So the materials underneath the soil start behaving one kind, behaving funny. Some will be like, no, this current will not pass me by. No, they'll start resisting the current. And when the current is being resisted, you will come up with an information that says we have a low resistivity in this area. So if the formation allows current, the thing will come out with a high resistivity. So with that in mind, with that theory in your head, you can use your current, which is the VES that you have sent to the floor, to say, this is what happens and this is not what happens on the floor. And this is the principle. This is the principle because when you do your setup like this in the field, the current moves from first electrode to second electrode. So it is sending current left and right like this, left and right. As you increase your electrode, your depth of probation keeps going down. So at the end of the day, you come out with a borehole information that you can say, okay, on this point, because it's 1D now, it's 1D, so it's one location, one point. With all your profile line you are drawing, it's just one point that you are probing. But for 2D, you can probe length, an area, a good area. So you can come out with an information and say, okay, for this one point, this is what it is. And you now do an interpolation and say, okay, if it is like this, meaning 5 kilometers away, it is like this, 20 kilometers away, it is like this. And you can have what we call a general basic, like, understanding. So when you start doing these things from point to point, you can have this confidence and say, I don't need to do VES here. I already know, because you already have data. And the data have been coming out similarly. That's why people will say, go to Pansha and buy your land for your pure water. Because people have done enough study there, and the result came out the same, that there you can actually get a clean water. So you don't need to do VES. But as a learner, you have to do VES. You understand? Because sometimes you will think that you know it all, but God will surprise you. In a place where like in Aritalin, if you know Aritalin, there is one small portion that has clean water. You guys are aware? The whole place. Iron free, yes.
What area?
That sand road. There's one borehole by that sand road that Aboki men are fetching water. If you just that borehole is iron free. Probably somebody did a trial by error. I don't even know what that, but I know that they are getting iron free. So when people see these things or they have accumulated information, they can comfortably say, like me, I don't need to see, with looking at your spreadsheet, I can tell you that there's an error in this thing. Because of my experience, I'll be like, no, you cannot be having these values, because from the experience, it's supposed to be low. Why are you getting high? So sometimes people will be like, na so a day. I'll be like, okay, go and drill. And at the end of the day, God is merciful. They might come out with a good result as well. And I will add that to my database of knowledge. And I'll be like, okay, you can still have this kind of values in areas where it is impossible to have that kind of values. So now the VES principle. The VES principle is as simple as ABC that is in the wall like this now. So the VES principle is that when it is clay, you are expected to get a low resistivity. And when it is a saturated sand, what do we mean by saturated sand? Sand that have water. You are expected to have resistivity that is moderate. It's not high, it's not low, it's just normal. Then when you have a dry sand or hard rock, where there is no water, then you are expected to have a very high resistivity. Now, these properties form the basic method, like what we call the VES, where resistivity measurements are used to identify subsurface layer and locate groundwater bearing zone. As you just see your result, you just know, okay, this is where we need to go. Now, in VES survey, we measure how the ground responds to current flow. That's the whole theory of VES. And also, this response helps us to identify layers that is good for water or not. And I came out with this table that every geologist should cram. You should just cram it or know it. And it is like, if you have a clay formation, because we are doing VES for groundwater exploration, that's why this table came out to. So if you are looking for the lithology, if you strike a lithology that is clay, you are expected to have a low resistivity. And what that means is that lithology may mean that you have is a less permeable layer. It's not possible that water will stay there. Water cannot rest there because there's no movement in that area. Then if you meet a wet clay, the signal you should have in your VES is a low, very low. You could have it as low as a negative resistivity. Then it means that is a clay layer that contains water. And it is conductive, but usually, in fact, that's a very poor aquifer. Then the next thing, if you strike a sand, then you should have moderate to high resistivity. Now, it will be moderate. If the sand will be moderate, if the sand is containing water, you have a moderate resistivity. But if it is not containing water, my brother, you're having a spike. And this could be a good aquifer if saturated. They just said it here. If saturated, meaning if that sand has water, it will be moderate and it will be a good aquifer. Then you can sink your borehole. Then saturated sand, wet sand, moderate resistivity, very straightforward. This often is a good groundwater bearing layer, is a good aquifer that we can stop. Then gravel. The gravel, we have moderate to high, so it's also a good aquifer. But when we start talking about gravel, dry sand, freshwater basement, and all the rest, then we are now going to the north, not for us in the south. So that's for that. Then the take home for this VES talk is that low resistivity does not always mean good water place. Then similarly, high resistivity does not always mean that, hey, something do. So what you need to put in consideration when you are trying to interpret your VES data is number one, the local geology. You must, like this now, my oga Prof Ken, if one wake up from sleep, he go tell you, say, we have city sand, clay. He already knows how the lithology will be like. So when you give him a VES curve, you already know that, that's what it's supposed to be. So you have to know that local geology. You have to have a borehole record. You don't just go to a new place and start drilling. But you ask question, you'll be like, this borehole that is here, how many depths is it? The water, what's coming out, is it clean or bad? You have to know all those records before you can comfortably interpret your VES. Then again, you have to know the surface condition. Yes, surface condition. What happened in that area? Did they sand fill it? Did they remove mud and put sand? You have to know all those things before you can interpret. Because if they sand fill that area, you are supposed to be getting clay. You just see one fine sharp value and you be like, hey, in a good area. Oh boy, by the time you go down, you are bringing dust. Then again, you have to know the kind of aquifer that we have in that area. How many? Is it one? Is it the confined? Is it the unconfined aquifer? You have to know. Then you have to know the salinity of the water in that area. What do you mean by salinity? Salinity is that water when you did that area. So does it contain salt? Because salt water has a way of influencing resistivity value. If there is salt water in that area, your value will be very low as negative if care is not taken. Now in section 2. So section 2, we are going to be talking about VES setup. And you will see it live tomorrow if you have transport. So for the electrical method, we have what we call different kinds of array. What is an array? The way you place your electrode in the field to collect your data. That is what we call an array. So we have what we call the Wiener array. We have the Schlumberger array. We have the dipole-dipole array. We have the pole-dipole array. We have the pole-pole gradient array. One of my guys in Burkina Faso, his favorite array is the gradient array. Then the equatorial dipole array, the Wiener Schlumberger array, and the twin array. In all this configuration, all what you still need is 4 electrodes, except for the twin. The twin is that you are doing a 3D at a time. What we normally do for 3D? What we normally do for 3D is that we take our 2D in a grid format. You draw 2D here, 2D, 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 draw it like this, and you arrange all of them together to get a 3D. But you can actually position your electrode in such a way that you can just have that 3D cube at once and continue your life. But people don't actually know that. They believe that the other one is faster, dependable. You know that is what you know that is fast. If you don't know it, it's very slow. Aha. So for the Wena is good for VES, but we usually do not use it for VES. Slumberger, everybody know. Once you just hear VES, the only thing that comes to your head is Slumberger. Yeah. So Slumberger that everybody is using for VES, and it is best for VES as well. It is good for vertical sanding. It has a high depth. You can, with that short line, you can actually probe far with VES configuration. And every other ones are for 2D. But if you are doing mineral exploration, I heard that we guys, we have one mineral now in Bayelsa. I heard it. So if you want to, the black sand, you want to probe that area, we prefer to use the dipole array, because that one will give you a very good resolution. You see it very clear. You see the anomaly very sharp. So it's the dipole array we normally use, especially those people in the north. So this is the configuration of all the array. And for today, we'll be depending on the Schlumberger array, which is the common for VES. Now, array configuration. Still talking about array configuration. This is the setup for the Schlumberger array. And it is like this, where that is your, where that is your machine. This is your potential electrodes. We have 2 potential electrodes. Then we have current electrode, A and B. Current electrode. So you position them connected to your machine. Now machines differ. My machine and your machine is not the same, but anyhow, if you know one, you don't know all. So you have a point where sometimes you see it on the machine labeled P1 and P2, very clear labeled. Why some, they will just color code it. You see red and blue. Just always know that anywhere you see blue is the potential you plug there. Before you go and plug nonsense, and the next thing your machine is bringing smoke, you're going to buy another one. Because we usually do not have repairers in Nigeria. Anything that spoils, to put it in the dustbin. So this is how you do your setup, and you start taking your reading. Now, mind you, we are taking current reading. So that is why if you are opportune to be in the field, after they are finished putting their electrode on the floor, the next thing you hear is, are you set? Because if you go do posing there like this, while they send the current, and you will feel shock, because it's current that you think it's battery. Or you just small green in your body. It's you that know. You go and land in the hospital. So each time you are doing your field setup, we normally shout, are you set? To move your hand, let's send our current. So this is how you do your setup, and you send current, and you see that we start probing the middle depth. The farther you go, the more depth you get. And for field setup, this is what you need to carry to your field. You have to carry your machine, you have to carry your electrode, you have to carry your cable, you have to carry your GPS and your sheet. This sheet is normally printed on a paper that you write and come back to your Excel. But you know, now Excel won't be this. So and when you see that sheet, you see that they have already printed your AB/2 for you. Sometimes they'll print your NN. Yes, they used to print your AB/2, your NN. And some machine, you have to print this your geometric factor. This your geometric factor on it. But for our own machine, our ARO, you don't need to do all these plenty ones. The only thing you need to do is this and this, because your machine will give you your geometric factor, it will give you your resistivity, it will give you your apparent resistivity, it will give you your IP, and even your inferred lithology. Very small thing. But the ones that we know, all those big things, they will only give you your apparent resistivity. Did they give you apparent resistivity? No. It will give you your resistivity. You go home and maybe probably IP. You go home and start doing mass. You start doing K. Then you now multiply K by your resistivity to get your apparent resistivity. Suffer. You'll be doing one work 24 hours. Clients will be calling you. How far now? They don't know say they press calculator. But that things are not smarter. So for my machine, you actually just carry your paper and barrel and start copying. So you copy your K factor, of which you really don't need it. I don't need the K factor again. The reason why the K factor is here is because your machine is not too smart. You have to calculate for apparent because what you are working with is your apparent. So by the time you have a very smart machine, all these columns are not supposed to be there because the machine has already done the mathematics for you and come out straight with your apparent resistivity. So you just copy your apparent resistivity and go home. If you want to work with your IP, copy your IP and go home. Then it gives you an inferred lithology too. You just see it as you just take the reading just come out, it just tell you clay. And the machine also have the ability to tell you that aquifer, you see a message, aquifer found or aquifer not found, you see it there. But you still need to go to your computer and do work. So this is my guys in the field. Yes, and this is our machine. So you see them running the profile. This is somewhere in Otuan community. But before I would like to go further, I would have loved to do a demonstration. Or you guys don't want the demonstration? You guys want to wait for tomorrow? So you do a demonstration. I wanted to. So we'll do a demonstration with the software. Because now for VES, this is the result we are expecting to get. Anything outside this thing, my brother, now only God knows what you don't bring come. So this is what we are expected to get. We are supposed to have the A-type curve. These are the curves for the VES. A, H, K, and Q. Then in rare occasions, we have combinations of them. Maybe you have the K, H. You see your curve go like this, then go up again. Then in some rare occasions, you just see them combine themselves. So you look at this chart and know how are they combining themselves. Then you know how to name it. You can name it AH, K, Q. Your hair, just name it like that. And in the lithology sense, this is what it means. It means that if you have something like this, it means that the resistivity of your first layer. It means that the resistivity of your first layer is lesser than the resistivity of your second layer. Abi, the resistivity of your first layer is lesser than the resistivity of your second layer, and this one is lesser. This one is greater. Yes. Less. Yes. Less, like this. Great. Then great, less great. So what that means is that this formation is sand. This formation is dipping back to clay. This formation is clay, sand. Then that one is just going up. Clay, sand, sharp sand. Then that one we have sharp sand, clay, sand. And this one is just dipping down. You are going down to clay. And the reason why we have this in most areas is because you don't reach saline area. You don't enter river like that. So you see your curve heading downward because the thing have detected salt in your water. So let me do a demonstration how these things are produced or what you need to know. Yes, let's do a demonstration. So like this, I'll sit down, you understand? And you hear my voice and you watch the screen. Please, the projector should not go off again. So I'll launch my software. Okay, before I go to my software, let me quickly show you softwares that we use for VES. Softwares we use for VES are listed there for 1D. We have many softwares to use. Yeah, softwares for VES. We have the number one, common one, very common and popular, the IPI2Win. If you don't know IPI2Win as a geologist, I don't know what you're doing in that department. You should go and do economics or something else. So you should know IPI2Win. Then WinRest have been in existence since 1943. I woke up to start seeing data from WinRest. I was like, what's going on here? Then Zoid IP. All these ones are latest softwares down like that. So all these softwares are good for 1D interpretation. They give us curve. This is the result of one job I did. This is a 2D. The Aboki man said he wanted to know where he can drill his borehole. He's doing mineral exploration and you need water to continue mining. So he wants to know where he will sink his borehole. Now looking at this image, you should know now. Abina, no, no. Okay, ma, you tell now. So this is the best position to sink your borehole. Now you will not target this low area. This low area could mean extremely clay. So you look at these green areas that has a moderate resistivity. This is a moderate resistivity, this is low, and this is high. So now rock with this. So you could just wake up and drill your borehole here and you are struggling. You're not getting anything and your pipes are getting stuck. But this is your best location for you to get. So this is the purpose of 2D when it comes to 2D for groundwater. And for this area, you see the aquifer layer very clean and clear. And the borehole was decided to put here. Now the reason why the borehole was kept here is because all this other area, nobody we get the land, but we just draw our profile go like that. But this is where our land's for. That's why your GPS is very important too. You carry your GPS to know where we are talking about. So that's the different kind of software. Now for you to use WinRest, to do your interpretation, you still have to use IPI2Win. So I was wondering, so why are we now going back to WinRest when IPI2Win can give you everything? Is that how you people like suffer? So because you cannot refine your profile or edit your profile with WinRest as you give them, that's what it will give you. If error day, the error go day. If there's a spike or an anomaly in your WinRest result. So I notice people still come to IPI2Win to refine it, they will edit it and get a new value and transfer that value to WinRest. And WinRest result is not fine. Very ugly thing. But for IPI2Win, it's very fine and appealing to look. Then we have what we call Itapes as well. Is Itapes not there? Yes, 1D Itapes. Yeah, people like using Itapes. But before you still use Itapes, they still go to IPI2Win to refine your data. Then you now carry it back to Itapes. But you know what they do, not with the software, with the issue. So let's just work with the IPI2Win, because for you to use every other software, you need to know the IPI2Win well, because that's where you go to refine your data. So I will launch the IP8080. So when you launch it, this is what you get, a very blank slate. And I will open my Excel sheet because I've already transferred everything from my feed sheet to my Excel. And I'll open this one I called OT1. So this is what it looks like. This is what it looks like, where you have your geometric factor, this apparent resistivity. Now, you can see that we have double values here. 6,6, we don't need the 6,6. We need to take just 1,6. We need to take 115. We need to take 140. Now, how do you know which one to take? You do small maths. You do small maths and you add 12 and 13. 12 and 13 together, divide by 2 and get your average. And that is what happens here. You can see the formula upstairs. So I'll just copy this formula. Copy this formula and put it here. Let me face my computer before I break my neck. Okay, so let this value be 49, because if you see the apparent resistivity, we have 49 here, 49. So it's fair that you just take 149. But assuming we have two different values, you add both of them together, divide by 2, so that you get a proper average. So this is what we have. So the first thing you want to do is to copy your AB over 2. And come to your IPI2Win software, which is very clean. They will ask you to open your spreadsheet. You come here, you see this place they call you VES point. If you collected your IP, you can do resistivity and IP. But let's just do VES. So you put your AB over 2. You see the AB over 2 column here. You paste. I paste from 1 to 6. So the next one is to continue copying. I'll copy from 9 to 40. Copy from 9 to 40. Come back to your IPI2Win and paste. Okay, then you copy again from 40. What's the next? 45 to 50. Okay, thank God it's short. Some people is as far as 500 though. Don't know what they are looking for. Is it water? So we have our B over 2 sets. Your NN does not really matter in this interpretation. But if you want to work with softwares like Interpes, you must put NL or else you are not going forward. So the next thing is to copy our apparent resistivity. That's the only thing needed in this entire sheet. So I'll copy to 6 first. Copy to 6. Paste. Then copy from 9. copy from 9 to 15, copy. Then we paste here. Copy from 9 to 15. Mind you, our new 15 value is this 79 I kept here. Because I added this 15 together to get this 79. So I'll go to the software and just edit it there. So I'll copy from 9, paste. So this 15 is now the 79. Then I'll come back to the Excel sheet. I'll copy from 20 to 40. Our new 40 value is now 109. So I'll edit it in the Excel sheet. Our new 40 value is the 109. The 109. Then I'll copy the last, which is the 4550. 4550 and paste. So as you can see, without any interpretation, you can see the shape of our curve that we are trying to get. You see it like this? So that's the, what kind of curve? Waiting. So when you click OK, they will ask you to save it. You save it as demo. Let's save it as demo. Another of our photographer.
Please, so sorry, so sorry.
So sorry. Sherma is apologizing. I thought my laptop was plugged. It's not.
It wasn't. Okay, let's plug it.
No, use the extension as well. Please, you should not pass there again.
We have to restrict this point.
People should close this door.
They will close that door for us.
You will not pass. You will be passing this way.
She has not even touched it.
Yeah.
Which I'm passing. A guy that
Joe is you.
is very tall. So. I hope it's sinking. Is it sinking?
While we wait for the projector to come back home, I hope the slide will be available to everyone.
The slide, okay. Was I talking from the slide? Yes, it will be made available. Yeah. So after clicking OK on your software, it takes you to this place where the first one will give you your curve. That side will give you your curve, and this side will give you your model. We are actually interpreting our model and not the curve. So the curve will give us our model, but you need to we need to show it. You need to show the curve. You need to show your ingredients before you show soup. So that's the basic interpretation. So as you can see, automatically, the software gave us a model to follow, which is that green line. But I'll be like, okay, let's just model it like this because my survey is looking neat, it's clean. There's no spike, there's no anomaly. I'm not seeing anything to edit. So I'll just click on this green button. What do they call it? So automatically he told us that he has detected 4 layers. This thing has detected 4 layers, and that is the resistivity value. This is the resistivity value for each of the layers. This is the depth of the layers. This is the thickness of the layer. And this is your alteration or waiting. Altitude, thank you. That's the altitude. So as you can see, it's looking neat. But assuming it's not looking neat, so let me click on my inversion button again as well. This is my inversion button, very important, you have to click it. So the more you click it, you can see that it is giving me the best and possible stuff. So you click it to an extent that it will stop, but you don't need to do that before you go and scatter. And you see that your RMS error, your RMS error is 3 points. So it should not be more than 5, even for EROT and for VS. It should not be more than 5. So anything more than 5, it shows that you are not accurate. Your curve is far from the truth. You are not speaking truth because your error is too much. So assuming you did this thing and the error is now looking above normal, you click on this stuff. You click on this stuff here to edit. So when you click on it, you see you show your synthetics. This green, I mean this red. You click on this show, and when you think of show, you'll be like, it's not aligning enough. Oh, I want to really align it. I want my this thing to be very smooth. So you can start shifting. So assuming you have something like this on your results, you can't leave this spike. You have to drag it down to your model. So you follow this model, follow this model. I need to off my internet so that calls will not come in. So as you can see, I've dragged it to the red line as neat as it could be. And this is what we call the modeling. So they will model it like this. Now copy this new value. As you can see, if you are moving your this thing, you see the value changing. So they will now copy this new value and go to your WinRest and start imputing it on your WinRest, or you go to your interface and start. So this is where they do the refining. And they will be like, okay, your curve is now looking smooth. So like this, now we now have a new apparent resistivity value that you can take anywhere else to other softwares and start producing the kind of beautiful image that you like. So when you are done, so you cannot see that we have 4-layer resistivity, and these are the resistivity value. And now this is what you now interpret. Interpretation is everything. If you interpret nonsense, especially when working in the mining industry, you cannot interpret nonsense because you are wasting people's money. People are doing exploration with billions, and you cannot go and tell them to carry rig and carry everything to the field and start blasting. At the end of the day, they are blasting empty dust. They will arrest you. You will sleep at Kuje. Nobody will bail you. you just rot in there. So you have to be very, very concise and real about your interpretation. Because I did a presentation with one of my clients, and the client was not even understanding anything. And the next thing he said was, "Ide, abi no day." Just tell me if Ide or no. And at the end of the day, you now say Ide. Then all of us can't go there, no can't there. Just go. In fact, you just lost. Just go to Niger and start a new family, because they will find you. So it is very, very important that your interpretation is accurate. I read reports every day as well, and people are now using ChatGPT. Thank God, ChatGPT cannot help some people. But by the time ChatGPT misleads you, I just spell your name and ChatGPT will just be smiling. So you have to have knowledge, and you accumulate knowledge from experience as well. You cannot just wake up with one VS curve you are interpreted, you have done in your life, and you wake up and say, "I'll be senior man. You can give me VS work, I can do one." You have to have experience. You have to have a mentor, somebody you learn from every day. You are not a king on your own. Even me, I have mentor like this. And they go like that for somewhere, they greet some people. So you have to be greeting people so that you can learn from the best source. So when you are done like this, you screenshot or do anything you want to do, or export. Export your image. Which is the best export? PNB, this, that. I normally like to use the print setup. Is it the print? Let me just screen grab first. So you screen grab, but there's a means you can export everything. Let's screen grab. Screen grab this and save it anywhere I like to save it. So let me save it at my desktop so that I will not look for it. I'll call it demo. So the next thing you want to do is to bring out, let me open my PowerPoint. The next thing you want to do is to bring out this. Let me play. Now we have successfully seen that we have a curve. You see that a curve there now. So the next thing you want to do is to bring out this lithology, which is very, very important. In fact, this is your interpretation of this thing. So you have to visualize your result like this, and you tell them that, this is my aquifer sand. You tell them that this is my aquifer sand, and it starts from 20 meters. You can drill up to 40 meters and you'll still be fine. So you can stop anywhere from 20 meters and you'll be all right. So this is your main interpretation, where it contains your lithology, interpretation by your own self, or ChatGPT give you, no problem. So you have to interpret it by your own self. You have to put these values and probably describe or recommend and tell them, okay, you can go and drill and so location. The location must be there. Your VES, your GPRO must be useful in cases like this, because people like us, we normally do not go to the field with them. We set their coordinates, go there and drill. So if your geologist cannot read coordinates properly, and I know, now loss for bush. So now, how to get this? Should I show you guys how to get this stuff? Yes. Well, I won't learn, Okay. So I'll go back. The next thing I want to do is to open my Excel sheet again. Let me go to my API to win and see if I can. Okay, no, let's just do the hard work, because not too less shifting. So I'll open my software. No, Strata 5. People use other things to do this thing. I don't know what they are using though. Some people use Excel, some people use Photoshop, some people use CorelDRAW, some people use PowerPoint to draw this particular table we want to draw with Strata 5. Fine, people are looking for easy way out, but the main thing to do, or the surest thing to do, is to use your Strata 5. It will come out fine, come out beautiful as what I showed you before. So we'll start with our new borehole. We want to view our borehole now, because our VS is about borehole visualization. So the next thing I want to do is to open my Excel as well. Let me open Excel. Open a new sheet here. Minimize it. Let me share my screen in two. Let me open this, my demo. Then open my Excel sheet as well. In fact, I can't share. Good. So let me share my screen in two and this. Okay, good. We are fine like this now. So the first thing I want to do is my title, ID, borehole ID. You can call it VS1, but I'll call it, assuming you did more than one VS points, you probe like 4 or 5 VS, you give them an ID name. The next thing is to give us a top depth from where to where. The next is to, and your interpretation. I call it lithology. So your lithology is your interpretation in this case. Let me add another column that is missing inside. Your resistivity value, your app resistivity value, your borehole ID. My borehole ID is VS1. I call it VS1 and drag it down. How many borehole do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 layers. So drag it to 4, VS4. But don't allow it to label VS1, 2, 3, 4 for you. You have problem. This is VS1. Everything is VS1. So for VS1, let's make it bold like this so that we'll see. For VS1, the top layer, the resistivity value for the top layer is 25. And the depth starts from 0. And is ending at where? Perfect. So from your own understanding, what layer are we at? Topsoil. The material for the topsoil should be what? Let's call it silt. Then for the second layer, we have what? 50.6. 50.6 is from where? 0.8 to 5.93. And our interpretation for this layer is what? It's clay. Then the next one is 466. The depth is from 5.93 to 11.2. 11.2. And our interpretation here is what? Saturated sand. And the last one, I will usually call it half space. Now no buko. Ha. Well, when I call me home now. So 1.71. It's from this depth, 11.2. To what? It has half space now. Okay. Let's just leave it at 18 points or anything, because it is assumed that from, what is the meaning of half space? It is assumed that from this depth till when you meet the core of the earth, core mantle or Satan or even fallout, it's the same thing. It doesn't change. So that's the meaning of half space. So the half space, let us end it at probably 20 or 30, no, 20. So let's assume that from here to 20 meters, we have the same thing. And what is the lithology there? It's clay. Oh. The resistivity is too low. In fact, wet clay, let's add the wetness to it. So let's add the wetness to it. Huh? Yes.
How would the value look like?
If there's a salt, you could have negative. You could have negative value. But let's assume maybe we will saw salt in this layer. That's why the thing is very low. 1.7 is too low. Yeah. So like this, you have to save your work. So I'll press save. Okay, I've saved it before. Let me save as. No. I need to put it in a new sheet so that I will not have confusion. So I'm going to copy. I'm going to open a new Excel sheet. I'm going to paste and I'm going to save. So let me save it in my desktop so that I won't look for it. Let me browse to my desktop. So I'm going to browse to my desktop and call this one demo as well. Demo X. So we have saved it, and the next you want to do is to open your Strata 5. See, you got to know softwares. Oh, hey, well, this is your work, not be easy work. Oh, you'll be doing one work. You want to do map. You use like 3 softwares to do one single map, because one software cannot give you everything that you need. So like this, you have to know Strata 5 together with your IPI2 win, or you know Corel Draw so that you can draw your well log. It's very easy to draw. So the next you want to do is to show our log. So as you can see, we have different menus. So this is our main menu where we have the home, the draw, the log, the view, the arrange. So we'll start from the log. And the first thing we want to drop there is our lithology. Okay. So as I click on it, you see my console have changed. I'll be like, drop my lithology here. Now it will now ask you, where is your lithology? I'll be like, let's go and look for it. So I will say, it's in my desktop. So this is my demo X. I will open it. Aha, it has showed me my lithology, and you'll be like, okay, so your borrow ID is where? I will say, my borrow ID is in column 1. Oh, look at it there. Oh. You'll be like, okay. He will ask me again, your column 1, is it where your values is starting from? Look at my column 1 here, 1. I'll be like, no, that place is my EDU. So that's why I checked this place. I'll check it, and I'll be like, look at this is where my header is. My header is in row 1. Then you can start reading from row 2. Yeah, you can say, okay, let's go. I'll now click on next. Now this place is very important. Now your borrow ID, look at it here. Borrow ID is there, borrow ID. From, that's from. Look at my from. The thing has picked it. Assuming you didn't pick it correctly, you just open the drop down menu and select it by yourself. Then to, that's picked to. Now lithology key. Lithology key, I'm going to click on my lithology, because I want it to show my lithology on the colors as we are going. Then the description, I say let the description now be the apparent resistivity value. You're taken like that. So When you are done like this, you now click finish. So the thing will now draw your log like this. This is your topsoil. I mean your layer 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 now, so we are good to go. Then you now start decorating it. So the first decoration you want to put is your depth. You drop your depth. You click on it and drop. So it's like click and add. So you can see that we are able to probe up to 20 meters. You can see it has ended at 20. So yes, 20. So it will drop my 20. Then the next thing I want to do is to design this thing. This is not a geology color, very ugly. So I'll click on it. You see this area? I'll click on it, this area here, and I will start to edit it. Okay, I'm not seeing it in that corner, so let me just come here and do lithology editing. You're supposed to see it in that color. You have to click. You see a 3 dots, but it's not showing. Now this is for my clay. My clay says green. We have to change the symbol for clay. Where was my clay self? Which green is that? Let me see the color. This one. Okay, that's the green we want to change now. So I'll click here and screw up. What I'm doing is screwing up. I'm screwing up like this, and I will look for a symbol that match my own one I like. Let this be clay. So you add it. The topsoil, I need to change it. You come to your top CT. You can leave it a color or just put any symbol that you like that. Then the wet clay. Let's just put any symbol like this. That's the wet clay. Then for the sand, that sand is saturated. So let's look for something that best describe our stuff. So let's do this. So let's assume we are done and we are satisfied with the way our logs are displaying. So you just click on OK. So the next thing you want to put is your description. Let's make it look beautiful. You go to your log and you want to draw your description. So you see this one, ABC. So it will ask you, oh yeah, where do I draw it from? I'll say, from here now. So it's going to ask you the same question again. I'll be like, okay, continue. Now, your ID is here, your depth.
Hey, sorry. Okay. I will actually take the start of this section. So just do it.
Okay, so let's continue. So you can see it will ask you to fill all these ones. Your depth will now be your toe, and your data, the data it wants to display. I say it should display my resistivity, my lithology for me, and I'll click finish. So we have this here. Arrange it there. Then the next thing I want to display again, I want to display my values. So you follow the same process. Next, my depth is 2. Then my description, I want to display my apparent resistivity. I'll click on finish. So this one, I can lap it on top of it to make it look unique. There are many designs you try to do. I think I don't have time, so we need to go now. So when you finish drawing your resistivity like this, you can export or start adding titles. But you have to design it not like this. So you can do VS1, add another title. Add another title and call it your coordinates. You add your coordinates, your chords. Maybe chord is like 6.456. Sorry, 6.56 like this, comma 4. This is your coordinates. You add it as well. Then you add your project title. You add your project title as well and call it Nmgs demo. Probably you know your client name. You can put your client's name there. Then you click on your select tool and start dragging to fit. Start dragging to fit your title, because you could do more than one VS. You could do VS 2, 3, 4, 5 like that. Okay, so when you are satisfied with your care, you will now export it. So this is just a rough work. So this was done using this same this is my final project for what I'm trying to do. So this is what I was trying to bring out. And at the end of the day, you carry this and put in your report and start writing a proper and appealing report. So that's all about VS for now. So remember that your target mineral is water. So we are trying to target mineral, and if you are targeting mineral, what you should be looking at is a moderate resistivity and a thickness. That's what makes an aquifer. So the advantage of VES is that it is cost effective, it is simple, and it is reliable. Now when you know it's simple, then the limitation is that we have ambiguity and we have noise sensitivity. The process is actually noise sensitive. That's why when they are drawing your profile, they'll be like, stop moving, stop moving. You hear some people shout, stop moving, because I want to send current so that your leg will not go and show a spike for us. So tomorrow, if there's transport, we'll go to the field and see how it is done on the machine. So in summary, VS helps us to locate aquifer effectively. So do you have any question, or we should go home?
Can we give her a round of applause? So let's just take one or two questions before we close this section with the next section.
Okay, thank you very much for the lecture.
Thank you, Mr. Tangod.
What I want to actually ask is, how is permeability and porosity related to aquifer?
Okay, when we say a formation is porous, it means that it has the ability to host water. It means that it has the ability to host water. So the thing got to be porous. But when we are talking about permeability, it means that can water flow? Even if there's water in that place, can it flow? Or it's just a stagnant water? And stagnant water will get dry now. So you cannot actually depend on a aquifer that doesn't have permeability, because it doesn't allow movement of water. So permeability is movement of water, while porosity is ability for the aquifer to actually host water. So that's the difference.
That's clear for you. Thank you.
I have a question. The models in API 2 can we always rely on it? Because there are sometimes it can give you just 3 layers or 2 layers. So what I do is I go to interpret. Okay, to now do my analysis.
The interpex, why are you going to interpex? To add more layers?
Add more layers. I'm trying to now interpret it myself.
Now you can add more layers here if you want to add more layers. This software is alpha and omega. So let's add more layers. Let's assume that you want to split this particular side. You right click on it. You see split. You split. Then you shift. It didn't split.
No.
Look at it. You have added one more layer. So in as much as you are adding layer, you have to make sure that you have the same curve that you are trying to. So like this now, we now have 6 layers already.
So you went to the point where
The place you want to split, like, okay, you felt like there is an hidden layer that didn't show from the automatic that the software gave to us. So you can just add it by splitting that particular layer. So we can even split this layer if you want, this last layer. Let's add one more layer here. Add one layer, split, and you see that you are splitted. So you don't need to go anywhere to go and be suffering yourself. The only reason why you are going to another software is because that's the software you understand. That's why you are traveling from point A to B. But this one can give you anything that I can split to 59 layers. So as long as your curve remains the same, your curve didn't, because this is your interpretation, your curve didn't shift, no problem. You are fine.
Okay, I think because of time, we want to have. The thing is that we want to have we want to have a section now. You can just write them down. Tomorrow we are going to dwell in more of interpretation. So all what you want to ask, please, so we can allow the next section. Or we'll have a 30 minutes break to come back for our own section. I want to beg you for that, please. I'm so sorry because of the time. You have to stop by 11:30. It's already 12 o'clock, so we have already exceeded 30 minutes. So please, I beg you, just note them down. Tomorrow we'll have more of this tomorrow. Please, I hope you have you understood the point I'm trying to explain. My dog, sir, please just bear with us. To enable the office to have their own 30-minute section, then we'll come back. Please don't go. I think we have a live refreshment for you in the second section. Just be around, okay? Yeah, thank you so much. And but before she goes, let us once again just give her, I don't know, because the thing is that I want us to know that it's actually beyond her, it's our organization actually collaborating with us. Of course, for some of us that don't know, people spend so much money for this training. Yes, some people even go to Kaduna. I've traveled to Kaduna for just VS. I know what it means to go to Water Resources Institute, accommodation and transportation. But because of first magnanimity to also willing to give, the people that don't want to share knowledge, they little they know, they want to put it and die with it. You can see how she has actually taken time to explain because she's ready to give, to share knowledge. So once again, I want to let us all give her a standing and a round of applause. Doctor, we appreciate you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Like I said, tomorrow we'll have more time with you.
Okay.
And again, you cannot learn all of this for just one workshop. We're going to plan for another workshop again. We'll make it to be more impactful. We'll get more resources. We'll have it regular. But the thing is that, like you said, if you are a geologist and you don't know this, then just know that you are just wasting your time. You can also make money with this. And for those of us that are also into practice, our company has all what it takes to deliver any form of investigation. Go and tell them that you can do it. Okay? Tell them you can do it. And when you get the job, you liaise with the company, and of course, you know how it is. You are to practice, we are to practice. We're engineers. We are geoscientists, we're also engineers. Two of us.
True.
So let it be a knowledge, a skill that you would use to earn money, to solve problems. When you solve problems, you make so much money. You talked about aquifer. It's all over, but it's not everyone you tap into. The one we have in the Bancha market axis is a very shallow aquifer. It's just 40 feet, 30 feet. And we know it is highly contaminated. So let's get this knowledge, let us use it to empower ourselves. To the newly employees, I think we are actually deliberate to make sure that you don't rely only on your civil servant salary. We are going to create the platform for you to have the required skills that you will need to also make an additional form. Once again, let's thank our consultants. I want to thank you for your time. I didn't expect this large number, but I think we'll get it better than this. But please, like I said, don't go. We'll come back in the next 30 minutes and we'll do the other part of it. Another discussion will follow. Thank you so much for your time. Doc, we appreciate you.
You're welcome.
More than capacity.
Yeah, yeah.